I needed a relaxing week and it's been perfect. Like Hello my loves and thank you for joining me. It's Kirsten and we're starting another weekly reading vlog. This week I really want to focus on the Discord book club pick for May. So the May Discord book club pick is Daughter of the Forest by Juliet Marilia. This one has had a bit of a mixed response so far. So I'm pretty late to this. Most people in the Discord have already started it, if not finished it. A few people have ended up DNFing it, which is interesting. So a few have DNF'd it because there are some particularly dark themes in here, and apparently they happen quite early on. Even the people that have finished it do say that those parts are very dark. They can be a struggle to read. Overall, they love the writing style and they really enjoyed the book. So I'm hoping I fall into that category because I do have really high hopes for this book. This one is a retelling. It is based on a folklore story that I've forgotten what it is. I'm just trying to see if it's like mentioned anywhere, but I can't see it mentioned. What I have just found is a gorgeous map though. That's lovely. But yeah, this one is based on an actual folklore tale. We're following our main character, Sorsha. And Sorsha, her father and brothers have become ensnared by this sorceress called Lady Una, and she is now cast out because of that, I think. Yeah, so as a result, Una binds the brothers with a spell only Sorsha can lift. If she fails, they will all die. When the raiders break through, Sorsha is taken captive, and soon she'll find herself torn between duty to break the curse and a growing forbidden love for her captor. So it sounds rather interesting. I'm honestly really intrigued by this one because I have heard it is such a beautiful book and it has been recommended to me so many times. And yes, it has darker points, but I do read a lot of books that deal with darker topics, such as My Dark Vanessa right on display here. So I feel like I will be able to get through it. However, I have been told in Discord that there is a particular scene with the dog, and I don't really know if I want to read that because apparently it doesn't end well, and that's one thing that will always get to me is animals being hurt. I hate that. I genuinely hate that. So we're gonna see how it goes. I think if I can get through that, I will enjoy this book and I think it will be beautifully written. I would really like to read it. There are 3 books. This is a trilogy, but I think each one follows someone different. I don't think they're continuations from one another from what I can tell. Could be wrong, but yeah, this is the Discord book club pick for May, so this is what we're going to be focusing on. I do plan on starting it this evening. I've had a really lovely day overall. I've just wrapped up last week's murder mystery vlog and I had so much fun with that. This evening I've kind of left a bit empty so I can do some other stuff. I've got 2 more days off work, which I'm very excited about. Tomorrow I've got a meal. I'm going out for lunch with my partner. In the morning I need to get some editing done, but I don't have Wi-Fi yet. That's being turned on Tuesday, so I'm going to be going to the local coffee shop to use their Wi-Fi so that I can get some editing done, because there are some bits I just need. I've done some today that I didn't need any Wi-Fi for, which was really good, but some things like actually uploading the videos and accessing video clips that I've put into my OneDrive, I need the Wi-Fi connection to be able to do that. So I'm gonna do that tomorrow morning. Then Tuesday evening I'm meeting up with a friend and we're going out for dinner, and then I'm back to work. So we've got a busy few days, but also a relaxing few days. Like, I've been so busy for the last few weeks and I finally finished moving. I finally finished sorting everything out. So now I would like to take a couple of days to just relax, catch up with YouTube work, get some reading in and just do that. Because it's been a full-on few weeks, and thank you everyone to bearing with me. I know there's been some slight changes in the reading plans, also in the video plans, because there's going to be no June reset video. Instead, hopefully if I can get it all edited in time, you're going to get a move-in vlog instead. So like, it's just been a bit of a chaotic time, so genuinely thank you to everyone for bearing with me. But I think, you know what, I've rambled on for long enough. I'm just going to get on with my evening and we're going to start Daughter of the Forest. This is quite a chunky book though. It's over 600 pages, so I'm intrigued to see whether I'm going to be able to finish it this week because I am back to work. But fingers crossed, over the next 3 days I'm going to be able to get a good chunk in. If I can do that, I'd be very happy. But anyway, right, I'm going to stop waffling on now and we're actually going to start the day. Not start the day, because we're at the evening. We're going to start the vlog. I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to go. We're going to go. morning. I have made such good progress with Daughter of the Forest. I am loving this book so much. Part of me wishes I started annotating it because, oh my god, it's so beautiful. I love the writing in this book so much. Like, it's just so if I was to tab this book, I would be doing, I think, 4 different tabs. So one, my usual one for quotes that I love. There are a lot of beautiful quotes in here. Like, the writing is just gorgeous. This is the type of writing that I genuinely really love. Like, it's a slow-paced book, but there's something about the writing that just makes it feel so engaging and sumptuous that I just love it. The second one would be commentary about nature. It's massive in this book. We are following Saoirse, and Saoirse is really in tune with nature, just like her 6 other brothers. They are all part of nature. They're really aware of life and the way, like, the cyclical nature of it. Like, there was a particular quote where it was about this tree that had fallen, and it talks about how Saoirse is thanking the tree for everything it's done in its life, all the things that it has given by being alive, and then goes on to talk about everything that will happen and how it can still provide even though it has died, and the different ways that that is still a part of life. And how it was just beautiful. Like, it was absolutely stunning. So there are some gorgeous nature quotes in this book that I just think are just so well done. Like, I adore it so much. We then have loss. Loss, I feel like in this book is a bit of an umbrella term because there's so many different types of loss that's being explored. You have loss of innocence, the things that Saoirse is realizing. So she's very young in this book, and at one point she ends up helping this Briton who was caught spying on her family, and her family is very influential. Her father has a lot of land that he looks after and goes out to make war a lot, and she has always been kind of sheltered from the effects of that war until she has to help this Briton and sees the atrocities that has been done to him. It's so moving in the sense that you really get that feel of loss of innocence from Saoirse, and that's just the start of it. Like, this book is very dark. There are certain scenes in here that are just, you can see how much is being lost. So yeah, loss of innocence is a big thing in this book. Other things like loss of things that you love, because Lady Una is, in this book, she is the dark sorceress, and as she becomes attached to their father, she is causing strife between family members. To do this, she is hurting each of the children where it hurts most. Like, the things that they love, that is what she is attacking, and to the point where they then question their sense of self. So you have loss of the things you love, loss of innocence, loss of yourself, like loss of your sense of being. And it explores that so well in this book. Like, it really is beautiful. So you could break it down into those individual categories, or what I would probably do is just do loss and have that encompass the many different forms of loss that we are getting in this book. Like, honestly, the more I talk about it, the more I love it. When I start reading it, I don't want to put it down. It is slow to get into, I'm not gonna lie. The final tab that I would do is folklore and fairy tales, because obviously this book is a retelling of the folklore tale. However, it's not just that. There are so many comments and connections to other folklore and fairy tales that I recognise, whether it's through Saoirse telling stories, she does that a lot, she does a lot of storytelling in this book, or whether it's just connections to things that are happening to them that I recognise from other fairy tale and folklores that I've read. I love it. I genuinely love all of those connections, and this does feel like a folklore tale. That's what it feels to me. It's got the same pacing and plot points and everything that I would expect from a folklore tale, but it's just expanded from a short story, which is what we normally get, into something that is so beautiful but also heartbreaking. Like, I genuinely love this book. So yeah, I really want to annotate it. I didn't start off annotating it mainly because I didn't know what I wanted to annotate. I wasn't sure if I would love it or not, because there has been that little bit of mixed response on Discord where some people are DNFing, some people absolutely love it, but I wasn't sure. Like, I thought I would fall into the love it category, but I wasn't entirely sure. Then I got so invested in it, I just didn't stop reading. Because of that, I never stopped to annotate. Now I could annotate going forward. I am on chapter 5, page 233. Stopped in the middle of a chapter because these chapters are huge. Each chapter is around 40 to 45 pages long in this edition. There are different editions where you've got a really beautiful green cover. I was tempted to get that one. I think it's the American edition, but it was so much more expensive than just getting this version that I was like, I can't really justify it. But that book is tiny compared to this, so I'm imagining the typography in that is not great, whereas I actually quite like the typography in this, which yes, I know I talk about that a lot. Anyway, moving on. The chapters are huge. Thankfully, there are breaks within the chapters, so like this bit where you'll get a little break, and so that's where I've stopped at for this. I did actually finish at chapter 5 last night. I was up to the very start of chapter 5, page 222. As I mentioned, I don't know if it was in this vlog or last week's vlog, I've got myself a nice little routine here so that if I'm here in the mornings, if I'm not on an early shift, I start off my day with feeding my cat, but then doing myself a hot drink and sitting down with a book and reading a little bit. Like, it doesn't have to be much, I'm just reading while I have my tea. A book with shorter chapters, it will be sit there and read one chapter. For this one, it's read up to a break within the chapter. I love doing it. Once I've read my little bit, I journal, I do some yoga, and then I get ready and start my day. It has been the most wonderful morning routine. Obviously that can't happen when I'm on my early shifts because I have to get up at like 5:30 for work, so it's not going to happen then. For the rest of the time, this is beautiful. I love this routine I've got going. So yeah, that is what I spent my morning doing. That is where I'm up to in the book. I am really tempted just to start annotating from this point, and then maybe if I get time at the end of the week, I can go back through and annotate some of the lines that have really stuck out to me and just kind of flick through and see. But I also don't tend to do that unless it's like the first 50 pages, which I don't mind going back over, or I don't know whether just to save this for the reread and annotate it on the reread. I'm really not sure. I do know that where I've stopped is just before a particularly dark scene. Check your trigger warnings in this book. It is very true to folklore in the sense that it is dark, and this book is not going to sugarcoat things. You can definitely see how it starts off one way, so like Saoirse losing her innocence of her family and the realities of war and the torture that they do to people. Each time something happens, something gets darker and darker, so I feel like it's just going to continue that way. But I am loving this so much. Like, I definitely think I will be continuing on with this trilogy. Juliet Marília has written another series as well that I'd be really interested in reading. I love it. I love it so much, and I'm so grateful that this came up on Discord. Otherwise this would have been a book that I would have put off for ages, absolutely ages. And that's something I love about the Discord book club, is I don't put in options for the book club. I leave that to everyone else, and then we just vote on the ones that we want to read the most. And I love doing it that way because there have been some books that I just wouldn't have read without that prompt, or I wouldn't have read as soon without that prompt. So yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving this so much. What I did yesterday evening as well is play a bit of Animal Crossing. I love it. I haven't been able to play any Animal Crossing for a good few months. I've just been so busy. So May, obviously busy with the move. That's been the start of May. April was just a really hectic month in general in terms of reading, the amount of stuff I needed to get done for videos and things. It's just been a lot. And I do go through phases anyway of playing Animal Crossing where sometimes I'm really into it and will play it every single day, and then I will not play it for a little while, and then even when I do want to play it, sometimes life just gets too busy and I have to prioritize certain things. But I got back into it yesterday and I was so tempted to restart my island, because that's what I do. If I've left my island for a couple months and haven't gone onto it, I then think to myself, oh, I should probably just restart. So pleased I didn't, because when I went back onto it, I had the date actually to what it is now in May. I loved it so much more having all the green, getting past all the snow, because I'd had it as a past thing, so I wanted to get a certain item. I gave up on that. It's just not worth it. So I just had so much fun with it yesterday. I made a little bee farm that's not fully finished, but I'm really happy with it. I should have put in some b-roll for you, so hopefully you would have seen that before this. But yeah, I love it. I'm so happy with it, and it was really nice just to sit down and play that and have some YouTube on in the background. Like, oh, it was lovely. And honestly, the last couple of days have been really good. A little bit frustrating in some respects because I'm still waiting on my Wi-Fi to be sorted out that's meant to be happening today. I'm really hoping it does happen because I've got some videos I need to upload. If need be, I might end up going over to my mum's to use her Wi-Fi just so I can upload videos, but we'll see about that. Hopefully it's meant to be today, so fingers crossed we get that done. But I've done loads of editing, I got some filming done. I just had a really nice couple days off. Like, they've been really productive, but it's also been really nice to relax after all the move and all the stress that came with that and the really long days that I was doing because I was moving stuff. Like, I'm so pleased that I've had these few days before I go back to work just to rest, relax, properly settle in. But today the weather is grim. We had 2 beautiful, glorious summer days. It's now grim and overcast, but I am meeting a friend today, which I'm pretty sure I told you about, so I'm going to be doing that. It's going to be an early dinner because she's on early shifts, so it'll be an early dinner, but that's fine. And then other than that, I was going to be uploading videos, but the Wi-Fi is not quite ready yet, so I think I'm just going to be editing a video while I wait, and then I will spend the evening reading and playing Animal Crossing. I would really like, if I can today, to get up to page, I think it was 355. That was a chapter. Yeah, I'd really like it if I could get up to chapter 9 today, and then that means for the rest of the week, because I'm at work, I've only really got to read like 60-ish pages a day, and then I'll get this finished by the end of the week, which would be lovely because I'm enjoying this so much. So I would only have to read 120 pages this evening, which I feel like is really easily doable because every time I pick it up, I don't want to put it down. Like, it's so beautiful. At the start, like I say, it was slow. The first 100 pages I found a little bit more difficult in terms of sitting there and reading, even though I loved the writing. Sometimes if like it's not pacey enough, it's easy for me to lose, not interest, but like I will want to break it up. So I'll read like 30 pages, go do something else, come back, read 30. But now I'm at the point where I'm so invested in this book. I sat there yesterday and just read for 2 hours straight. Initially what I was going to do is read for an hour, then play some Animal Crossing, and then go back to read. That didn't happen. I just read for 2 hours straight, got to where I wanted to in the book, and then went to Animal Crossing because I was enjoying it so much. But right, okay, I need to stop rambling about the fact that I'm loving this. I think you get the picture. It is so good, but right now I'm really hungry, so I'm going to do another one of those bagels because I'm obsessed. It's the simplest thing in the world, but I love them, so I'm going to do that, and then I guess we'll get to editing and I will catch up with you when I've read some more of this. Like, it's so good. It is so good. I won't recommend it to everyone though because again, it is really dark. I'm going to stop now. Had a very relaxing morning just playing a little bit of Animal Crossing. It's been lovely. It's been so nice to get back into it, and I think it really helps having the game set in summer. Like, as in the month that I'm in, it's like, so what, end of spring? But it's lovely. That's not a tangent about Animal Crossing. Let's not do that again. I have been reading quite a bit of Daughter of the Forest. I'm now up to chapter 10, page 406. I'm really enjoying it, but I will say it is very, very slow moving. It works. Like I said, I do think the pacing works for the story. Definitely the part that we're at has slowed down a little bit. I can definitely see that being a criticism for some people because it is so slow moving. But I also really like it. I just think the writing is beautiful enough for me to not care that it's such a slow moving book. And to be honest, I don't mind slow paced books. Like, that's fine with me, especially if I like the characters and I like seeing the different things that they're having to go through. I don't have much more to say in terms of like plotline and stuff because obviously that would be spoilers. We're just seeing Saoirse go through these trials to save her brothers and the different things that are making that harder, the different things that she's got to try and overcome, the different people that she's having to deal with while she's trying to do the task that she's been set. And some parts of it are really horrible and devastating, and you see the after effects of this particular incident that happened to Saoirse. And what I do like about it is Juliet Marília doesn't just brush it under the cover, she does actually show how something like that has a lasting effect on you, and I appreciate that. I think that's done really well. I think it can be very easy in a fantasy book to have something happen to your main character that is really horrible and then have them get over it very quickly. It's not realistic to how it would be. So I like that. I like the fact that we're taking the time to show that she's still affected by what happened. I haven't read anything else this week. This is the only book I'm reading. Well, technically that's not true. I am reading an ebook, but that is for a whole separate video that's coming to you in July. In July, you're going to have 3 extra videos on top of what I normally do, and I'm very excited, but I can't say anything more than that, so you'll just have to wait and see. But I am reading an ebook for that video, and I am enjoying the ebook. As for this reading vlog, yeah, I'm not reading anything else. I'm just enjoying my slow, relaxing mornings lately. Literally just been doing journaling, yoga, Animal Crossing, reading. It's been lovely. I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, I don't really have much more I can say. I think, like I say, the world is beautiful. It's set in Ireland. That's where we're set. Obviously way in the past, where there was a lot more animosity going on between Britain and Ireland and other places, and there's a lot of infighting that's going on, and I like seeing that. I like seeing how the fairy folk are incorporated, their beliefs, the way they have such respect for nature and everything, and then how you've got Christianity encroaching in on things and saying how their belief system is blasphemous and stuff. It's not the main point of this book, it's just kind of there in the background. Definitely not a focus, but I think it just shows more true to how things were way back when this was all happening and stuff. Obviously there'll be embellishment. I like the fact that we've still got that nod to history rather than it again being completely overlooked. I don't know, I'm just liking it. Like, it's such a cozy, I don't know, see, it feels cozy to me in terms of the writing, but it's also a lot darker, so it's not actually cozy, but it just, I don't know, it just seems to work. Like, this for me would be a really good winter book to read because it's got that vibe where I could just curl up with a blanket and a hot drink and read some of this and be really happy with it. And I don't know, I find slow moving, slightly darker books are good for winter for me. I'm not sure why, but I just think that's kind of works. I mean, I am the sort of reader where I can read anything all year round, so it's fine. But if I was to reread this, I would reread it during winter, and I feel like I would get so much more in terms of setting the atmosphere for myself, and of course annotating, which I did play with the idea of going through and annotating from where I was. Decided against it, so I don't want to do that because I really don't want to have the annotations starting halfway through the book, so decided against it. Like I say, I do definitely know what I would be annotating because I do think there is a lot that is explored in here, but I don't have that many pages left. 250-ish, just under 250 pages left to go, which is not too bad. So I do plan on spending an hour reading this, although I want to get some editing done. Start making a start. Terrible sentence. But start editing this weekly reading vlog, and yeah, that's it. I think this one's just going to be a really chilled reading vlog, which I'm really pleased with because of how busy May has been. So I'm really enjoying taking a week to just slow down and relax, and I hope you like it. Anyway, right, okay, I am just waffling, so I'm going to edit and then we'll chill out and read. I also want to make a salad for work. I want to do a samosa and chickpea salad. Yeah, that's about it. That is it. That is all I've got to talk about. I am literally just waffling now. So I'm gonna go and I will check in when I've read a little bit more. But I am really enjoying it. I just feel like I can't give you much more than what I've said, which is it's beautiful, it's slow paced, but I really love all the folklore and fairy tale elements, and I like the fairy folk and how they've been depicted. So that's it. That's what I like about this. from the floor today because I could not be bothered to set up my tripod in here. It's in my living room and I just couldn't be bothered. Just couldn't be bothered. It was pure laziness, but that's fine because we have reading updates, and also yesterday was another couldn't be bothered day, really. I had a really nice morning, started off really chill, was playing some Animal Crossing, read a little bit but not much. Oh, I also finished my journal, so I've now started on this one this morning, my little mushroom one. I love this type of journal. I don't know what it is about them, but I'm really enjoying it. They're just cheap ones from Waterstones. Well, I say cheap, it's still £10, but I just love this. So started that this morning. But reading, yesterday I did get up to page 564. No, 565 is where I got up to. Not sure what chapter, hang on. Chapter 14 is where I'm in the middle of. And I'm liking it still. I've got, I think, about 90 pages left to go of the book. But I just wasn't feeling reading loads of it. And I did take it to work to read on my lunch break at work. Wasn't feeling it, wasn't in the mood. I did finish, because you know I said how, oh, this is the only book I've been reading for this video, because the ebook I've been reading is for another video. I finished that ebook, which was good, and I did enjoy that. But then the next book I was meant to be reading was What the River Knows, which is an Egyptian-inspired, like a young adult fantasy book, but I wasn't feeling it. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. I read the first 2 pages and it was absolutely fine. It's just I wasn't in the mood for that, and I do allow myself to mood read with ebooks. The problem being that when I have things that I'm meant to be reading, I then just don't want to read them. I think because I had them 2 back to back of books I had to read that are ebook, it's quite nice to then just not have to. I don't know. I think because my physical books I don't mood read out of. Well, I mood read out of the set TBR I've got for the month, but I don't diverge out of that too much. My ebooks is where I allow myself to mood read, and I just wasn't feeling it yesterday. I really wasn't sure what mood I was in, but fantasy was not the mood. So after dithering for absolute ages, not really sure what I wanted to read, talking to my sister and being like, I don't know what to read, I don't want fantasy, she came up with a couple of murder mystery options, which did sound really good. I was flicking through my Kindle on books that I've got saved, because I've stopped Kindle Unlimited at the minute, because I've decided I've got quite a few ebooks that I have bought for like when they have their 99p sales, things like this. I haven't read. So I'm like, I think what I'm going to do is cancel Kindle Unlimited and read through this first. Especially because I wasn't necessarily reading a Kindle Unlimited book every single month, and unless you're doing that, it's really not worth paying for a service that you're not using. So I'm a bit bothered that some of the romance books that I was feeling yesterday weren't available because I don't have Kindle Unlimited. I mean, they're available, I can buy them, but anyway, I don't have Kindle Unlimited, so I was looking through my Kindle TBR to see what books have I bought that I haven't actually read yet. One came up that I was like, oh, actually, I'm kind of in the mood for you, and that is From Below by Darcy Coates. Now this is a book I started months and months ago because I got obsessed, let me grab it, with Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant. I read this last year as an ebook and I fell in love with it. I was obsessed. I really enjoyed it, and I did contemplate rereading this, but I thought I don't want to reread it as an ebook anyway. I want to reread it physically so I can annotate this one. I enjoyed it so much, and I was told, because I got a few recommendations, if I enjoyed this one, I'm probably going to like From Below. So I picked it up quite soon after finishing Into the Drowning Deep, and then found it was very similar, so decided to soft DNF. I got 10% of the way through. I am now, I think, about 10% of the way back through, because I was continuing on from there, and then I realised actually there's a lot of things I haven't quite remembered, so I reread the part that I had initially read, and I'm now up to chapter 8, page 52, so 12%. So I read 2 more chapters on top of where I'd left it. I'm really enjoying it. I'm so pleased I decided to go with this. This is exactly what I'm in the mood for. Like, I couldn't tell you why. I'm just really in the mood for this sort of book. So this one, From Below, is very similar to Into the Drowning Deep. Both books are centered around going to this site where this ship was last seen, and both ships mysteriously vanished. The only difference is Into the Drowning Deep, they actually had footage of some very questionable things that happened, and they're not sure if they're real or not, and it revolves around mermaids. From Below, I don't know what it's revolving around at the minute. I just know that we've got this team that are going out to this site where this ship has been found, which is 300 miles away from where it was meant to be. You also get dual timelines, which you've got in both books, where you've got little snippets of what happened in the past from that original boat and like the things that are going on around that. And then you have the current timeline of what we're up to. So we've got characters that feel very similar in From Below to Into the Drowning Deep. We do have less characters and they're a bit more of a ragtag crew in From Below. So they are originally going to be using these drones to dive down into the depths where this boat is. They all fail. All of them fail. So now they're having to physically dive down, which a lot of the people are like, yeah, we're so happy with this. Whoop, whoop. We get to do this. However, there is only one experienced diver between all of them at this level of depth. Like, it is way past what the bounds of what it should be for humankind. They're pushing their limits. They're going to the extreme. And yeah, things are going to start going wrong. So where I'm up to is they've just made it down to the ship. You've got one person that's running lower on oxygen than what they should be, but lying about it so that everyone can still go and investigate the ship. Two people that are still up on the ship waiting for them to return, one of which is the person that was in charge of the drones, and now he's like, I'm going to find out what the hell happened, because I do not believe they just malfunctioned on their own. And so he's off investigating the other crew members' bunks to find out, and he's just stumbled across this journal, and it is eerie and creepy. We have the experienced diver who is a bit obsessed with people drowning. So yeah, that's where I'm up to. I like it. You know, I will admit, the writing style isn't as good as Into the Drowning Deep, like by Mira Grant. I preferred the writing style in this. However, it works. Like, it's a simplistic style, but it works. It does the job, and it works for when I'm at work, because that's when I'm reading this one. And I like that. I like the fact that I've got something easy to read on my lunch breaks at work, and I can just kind of chill to it. At the same time, it's giving off those creepy vibes, which I'm really enjoying. So yeah, so I decided to pick up this, which wasn't on the docket. Unexpected throw in for the end of the week. I probably won't be finishing it this week, to be fair. It's going to carry on into next week, but I'm enjoying it so far. I do plan on reading more of Daughter of the Forest this morning, but I don't imagine getting all 90 pages finished. I'm right at the very end, and I feel like where we are is 90 pages is a lot for what's left, in my opinion. So I guess we're going to find out, and hopefully I really like it, but I have a feeling that I might find this a little bit drawn out, so it might take me a little bit longer to read. So I'll probably spread it over the next 2 days. I don't know what it is about me, but I find that when I'm getting towards the end of a book, that's the part where I start being like, oh, I just kind of want to, you know, get past it, move on. I don't know why. Sometimes it's because I don't want it to end, and so I slow down because of that. And sometimes it's just because I feel like it's getting dragged out a bit too much, which is my worry here, because the resolution to Saoirse's journey happen, and I still have 90 pages, and I honestly think it's going to be 90 pages of her deciding what she wants to do, where she wants to be, and who she wants to stay with, and how difficult that choice is going to be for her, which is fine. But also, I think I would have preferred it if it hadn't done that. But again, I could be wrong. So, I mean, I have enjoyed this book. Like I say, it's very slow moving. Did really enjoy it. But I am feeling like I'm in a bit of a, I don't want to read fantasy right now, because it's, I don't know, it's like I'm in a bit of a reading slump, but for reading slump for a genre. It's very rare that I get into a reading slump where I don't want to pick up a book, but I feel like I'm in a reading slump for genre. So it's fine. I'm still going to be finishing this one. I'm still interested in it. I just think I'm not going to push myself to try and read all 90 pages. You never know though, I could get really into it and then decide to finish it anyway. But this vlog will finish when I finish it. Probably read about 40-ish pages of that today and chill, because I have another obsession that's just started, which is Bridgerton. So I don't have a TV in my flat. I'm not really interested in having a TV. I do have my laptop and I do have my phone. And so I do like watching YouTube. So I like having a bit of YouTube on in the background when I'm cooking or things like that. If I'm playing Animal Crossing, I like to have something on in the background. Generally speaking, that's YouTube. And my main obsessions with YouTube is, well, BookTube, so other booktubers. And there's also a Animal Crossing YouTuber that I really like. So they're my main things. However, I don't know what made me feel, I think what it was is that I was dithering between a horror book or a romance book, but I didn't have any romance books saved on my Kindle. I have one, but that's for a themed weekly reading vlog that I'm doing in June. I was feeling romance, but I wasn't sure. And then I thought about Bridgerton, because everyone seems to be obsessed, because the third season's just come out and everyone has been obsessed with that show for ages. I've just never really thought about watching it. And then I thought, you know what? why not give it a try? We can at least watch the first season. So I downloaded Netflix, watched the first episode yesterday, and I love it. Oh my god, it's so good. It's so fun. Like, I love the era that it's set in. I think it's the Regency era, but I could be wrong, but it's kind of like modelled after that sort of era. And we have the start of the season for women being married, which is definitely the way it used to be. I'm really enjoying it. Like, I'm really enjoying it. It's so fun, and the first romance seems to be a fake dating, which I'm loving. I'm really enjoying it. Like, I enjoyed it way more than what I thought. I honestly thought that what was going to happen is I'm going to watch the first episode, it will scratch my romance itch for that day, and then I'll be like, I'm not really interested in watching it anymore, cancel the subscription, maybe rewatch Arcane or something like that, because I don't really watch stuff on Netflix. Like, it's not really my kind of thing, but I do love Arcane. So I was like, I'll probably do that. No, I think I'm going to carry on with this. So I would like to watch an episode a day and have that be my episode that I watch when I'm cooking and having lunch, like before I go to work, that sort of thing, because I think it'll be really fun. And doing it one episode a day will mean that it will last me a long time, so by the time I get to season 3, part 2 should be out, because apparently that's split into parts, which I only found out because of Discord, which also I'm blaming Discord for me starting Bridgerton, because they were talking about it a lot yesterday. Well, fine, I'll try it, and I like it. It's good. So yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do this morning. I think this morning I might play a little bit of Animal Crossing, read for 40 minutes, and then while I'm cooking and like having lunch, getting my food ready for work, we're going to be watching some Bridgerton, because why not? Although it probably will be on my phone, because my Wi-Fi is still quite slow. I've got a couple more days. They said it's slow for the first week and then it should speed up. So I might try it on my laptop, and if it works, great. But if it starts getting glitchy with the download speed, I'll just go back to my phone, which I'm fine with, because I'm used to watching things on a small screen, because I don't like having a big TV. It's not my thing. My partner has a big TV. Not my cup of tea. I didn't have a TV at my mum's. Like, I never went downstairs to use their TV or anything. Like, in my room, didn't have a TV, so I would only ever use my laptop and phone. Anyway, that's a tangent. I've been talking for 15 minutes. 15 minutes of just waffling on, which was basically, I didn't know what I was feeling yesterday. I didn't know what to do, didn't know what to read, and yeah, now I'm feeling like I'm in a bit of a fantasy reading slump. Like, I'm not feeling it. Like, I was excited. Okay, we're gonna do a slight more tangent apparently. I was feeling like doing my rereading week next week. I have actually managed to finish everything earlier, and I was very upset that I didn't get to do my rereading week across my birthday week. I was very excited for that. And I did particularly want to reread The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V. Schwab, and I might still do that next week, but I'm gonna have to start off with something different first, because I'm not in the mood for another slow moving fantasy. And as much as it's one of my favourite books ever, like, I love that book, that's why I wanted to reread it, is why I actually bought a second edition just to annotate in it. I also don't want to read it right now. I need a different pace, so I think I'm going to reread a different book first and then go on. So next week is going to be a rereading week, which I'm very excited about, because I wasn't sure if I'd fit it in for May because of all the move, and then we'll get started with June's TBR, which I'm also very excited about, and I have a few things planned. So yeah, right, okay, what was I saying? Tangents. This is what we're on tangent morning, but I am going to stop waffling and actually get on and do things. I need to decide if I'm going to edit today. I'm not sure. I'm not feeling in the mood to edit. Do I need to edit? No, I think I should be alright. I don't know, I guess we'll find out. Anyway, I will stop waffling on now, so I'll catch up with you when I have finished Daughter of the Forest. I think, no, I'm definitely going to stay. I was like, I'll just watch an episode of Bridgerton, but no, we're doing one a day, and we will save that for when I cook. So maybe I'll just play a bit of Animal Crossing. Maybe I'll do that. I guess we'll find out. I have just finished Daughter of the Forest, and you know what, I was right. I do think it's a little bit drawn out. However, that does work for the style and tone of this book. So the pacing, as I've mentioned many times, is very slow. It's got gorgeous writing, but it's really slow to read. It takes its time with the story, it takes its time with its characters. You really get to feel for Saoirse and see the different things that she's going through. So having a more drawn out ending does make sense for the rest of the book. I think if it had been any quicker, it wouldn't have worked for the pacing of the rest of the book. Plus, it is also really well done. Like, it wraps up so many things and it does it really well. So you can definitely read this as a standalone story, and I loved it for that. Like, I really appreciate a story that takes the time to wrap up all the different loose ends that are happening within a story. I really enjoyed the storyline. I just thought it was a really good book and it really kept true to that folklore vibe. So I'm really happy with this, and yes, as much as I'm feeling a bit of a slump to do with this sort of fantasy book at the minute, so I mean, to be fair, fantasy in general, I would like a week off from reading, but this was really good. I really enjoyed it. Perfect for what I wanted from this week, which is a really relaxing week, because this has been the first week that I've been at my flat. I've adored it. Like, I love living on my own. I love having the time and just space to relax and do things, and it's been really nice to pick back up things that I haven't been able to do because I've been so busy, such as taking the time to do Animal Crossing, taking the time to do my yoga, and also just reading this sort of fantasy book really worked for the week that I was having. So as much as, yes, towards the end I was ready to be done with this book, I'm really pleased that I read it. I'm really pleased it got chosen for the Discord book club, and I think it worked really well for what I wanted out of this week. So I'm really happy with this. Now, I did read a bit more of From Below. I'm up to chapter 18, about page 130 of this book, and I'm really enjoying it. Like I say, because I'm reaching that point where I'm not wanting to read any more fantasy at the minute, this book is working really well for me to just have a nice palette cleanser. I'm really enjoying the story. It's gripping. I'm feeling the darker atmosphere, and it's really easy to read. So I'm really enjoying this. That's going to be continuing on into next week, and I am enjoying Bridgerton. So I said how I was only going to watch one episode a day. That didn't happen yesterday. I decided to just not edit. As you saw, I did my Animal Crossing first. Same thing happened this morning. I played an hour of Animal Crossing to start off my day. Then I read a bit of my book. And then yesterday I I watched 2 episodes of Bridgerton, which it's just so good. It's so fun and entertaining. Like, it's exactly, again, because I'm in that I wanted to change up what I was reading mood, this has really worked for also hitting that romance feeling for me. So I'm enjoying it. I'm having a grand old time with it. I haven't watched any more of it today. I'm planning to do that in a minute, but yeah, it's just so good. It's so fun and entertaining. So I hope you've liked this weekly reading vlog. I know it's been a little bit more chill, but honestly I needed that. I needed a relaxing week, and it's been perfect. Like, I've loved it so much, so I hope you've also enjoyed watching it. But that is it for this week, so thank you so much for watching. Please let me know if you've read Daughter of the Forest or any other Juliet Marillier book, or if you haven't read any of those, do you like folklore retellings? Is that something that you do enjoy? You'll have to let me know in the comments below. But thank you so much for watching. If you have made it this far, or you just don't know what you would like to comment, then leave a swan emoji in the comments below, or if there's not a swan, then any bird emoji will do. And genuinely, thank you so much for watching. Your support makes all the difference, and taking the time to watch these videos, to comment, share, like it makes such a big difference. So thank you so much. But I am going to leave it there. So once again, thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please consider giving it that thumbs up, subscribe and comment. Those 3 things really help this channel out. My social media links and anyone I've mentioned will be linked below for you, and I will of course catch you in the very next video.